Hey YouTube, it's April 29th day of VEDA, and today I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about what I do for a living and the kind of issues that go with it. Uh, so what I do is head up the children's ministry at my church. I'm in charge of making sure everything kind of works. That includes events, Sunday mornings, any special things that are going on in any other time of the week that may be happening depending on what's going on. A lot of family ministry related stuff. I usually do something with father-daughter, a mother-son thing that we started last year, and different things to that regard, and anything else that like other parts of the church need an additional hand or kids are heavily involved with. Like I was leading a lot of stuff with baptisms this past weekend because out of 13 people getting baptized, 10 of them were kids. So it just made sense that I was in the lead for a lot of that. And I love what I do. And I want to start by saying I am exceptionally blessed. One, to be doing what I went to school for and making money. I understand there are so many people in my peer group of, the millennials that went to school, worked very hard, and don't get to use that piece of paper that they worked very hard for. And I understand that's a blessing. And I've always loved kids, and getting to work with kids is a great thing, and it makes me very happy. And most importantly, I get paid money to tell people about Jesus and to impact the world for Jesus, and that's really cool and really special. But thought I'd kind of share some stuff. So I have seen over the last year or so several senior pastors who have committed suicide, and it's very sad. And I don't have the role as the senior pastor over the church as a whole and things like that, but as the person leading the children's ministry, I can tell you that I kind of get the concept, because to me, it can be kind of lonely. And it's a different lonely than I think a senior pastor would deal with. But it is a lonely and kind of isolating experience. So my church is rather small. And past 2 years or so, I lost several volunteers. Church kind of just went through a new stage with people leaving the ministry staff and leadership and things moving around, and you just lose people in the course of the church. And I lost several volunteers from the church during that time, and then some volunteers moved into other places like youth ministry and worship, and I still have a really big team. I have the biggest volunteer staff at the church, and I'm incredibly grateful for them. But I have less adults than I used to, 18 plus. So to make sure I meet ratio and stuff like that, I'm in the classroom just about every Sunday. And we're supposed to have a family service once a month, but even then, a lot of the times I've been caught up doing stuff for that. So with exception to some things that were very kid folks, like we'll say the baptism Sunday, that was this past Sunday, because I did not sit down and participate in anything like that. I was running around doing stuff, corralling kids together. And the Sunday that I preached in big church, I think I've only been to adult service on a Sunday once since December, which is a long time for me. And we do start off in our church with everyone worshiping together, but I am not getting the opportunity to really live in that. I don't get to breathe and take that moment to have that worship experience with just me and God connecting in that way, because I'm watching a group of kids that parents are in a small group at the same time as service. So when we get excused, they need to be with someone before then. And I'm running around, and I don't get a lot of the moment to breathe and to be in God's presence in a corporate way. And I don't get to hear a sermon directed towards me. I preach sermons all the time to kids, and not that I don't get stuff of value from that, because it's the same Bible for me as it is for a toddler. But, there's a difference in preparing your own lessons or going through a curriculum designed for younger people. It doesn't always hit you in the same way. And there's a big difference between you going, and getting to reflect and be still. And I'm not always the best at trying to make my way to do that. And now that I have the baby, it's a little harder than it used to be to do that, to sit down and just have my own worshipful moments in the stillness. I'm lucky if I get a few minutes without her some days. Or those minutes I do have, I'm running around doing laundry and dishes and stuff like that. And I try to listen to my church's sermons online and things like that, but it's not the same as sitting there and being a part of that corporate group. And it, like I said, is really isolating and kind of lonely from that perspective. And I'm supposed to, be able to be interacting with people between services, and I don't always get that opportunity either, because we have the first service group of kids, and I am always teaching that class, and usually the only adult lead in that class, because I can't get people to come to first service to help. And sometimes parents forget to come pick up their kids, or they're taking a very long time talking and doing stuff. And sometimes it's justified, like, they're praying with someone or going through things, and I have no problem with that. But, it's adds that isolation from the church world when I'm sitting there with 3 kids waiting for their parents to come, and I can't just let them go because there are rules that have to be followed for safety reasons, and I miss basically all that between service time that we call coffee hour at my church, to interact with adults that are part of my church, or to continue to interact with the kids in a way that's not, is my mom here? Is my mom here? Where's my dad? Did my dad forget me? So it's, I take that and I lose that. And then I'm always waiting for kids to be signed out. So by the time the last kid is signed out and I clean it up minimally, so when I get back to the office during my hours, I don't have a lot to deal with. And I set the alarm and I lock things up. Everyone's gone. Or, like I said, small church, so a lot of people in church are related in one way or another, and they have family stuff, so you don't want to, ask, hey, can I go hang out with your family stuff when those are the last people left at church, and you'd like to interact with people from your church. And I was in a small group for a time, but that group has since gone, and the way my schedule works, the one group that I know does exist, it doesn't work if I want to be able to spend time with my husband. So yeah, when you work with the kids and that's what you do, it can be very lonely, and it can be very isolating and difficult for you as a adult Christian believer who wants to interact in the church. And having a core group of people from my church that I got to know and got to be with and enjoy relationship with has been a big part of my entire life up until the last few years ago. And you feel like you have lost a lot of a social circle and a lot of connection when you don't have peers to talk to. And I love my kids that I get to talk with, and I get to interact with, and I get to pray with and teach God to and worship with in our own way. But it's not the same as being in a corporate relationship with a group of believers that are your age or at least a similar life stage, adults. So, yeah, there isn't really like a point to this video. It's more just a catharsis of letting out a frustration that it's just the nature of working in the church, particularly working in a small church and working with children. You just don't necessarily get that adult connection that you wish you could have at a big church. So, if you're watching this video, you pray that I get a chance to breathe and have more relationship in that way. Okay, guys, I will see you tomorrow for the last day of VEDA. God bless. Bye.